This episode of the Red Bull Rant is brought to you by the fine people that support us through patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. Head on over there to support us and get exclusive content when we fucking feel like it. We want to send a special thanks to Chris Adamick, the Maeve Dartinez, Pierre, Eddie Delecto, and Jeremiah Dempster. As always, thanks, guys.
The Red Bull Rant is a free-flowing podcast with three soccer-loving idiots who don't know when to shut their dumb potty mouths. So listener discretion, yeah, it's pretty much advised.
Welcome, my friends, to the show never ends. This is the Red Bull Rant podcast. I'm your host, Jason Iapico.
I'm Truman, and this is episode 445, At the Death. I was going to call it the Megadeth's By the Skin of My Teeth. So, really, either one works.
So, if you're wondering why we're coming to you on Sunday night, Monday morning, whenever you're listening to this, the Red Bulls did something nobody thought they were going to do a month ago, and that's make the playoffs. And literally at the death. 1-0 victory on the road in Nashville in a game that had become by the 60th minute a must-win game with a very, very lucky PK call for foul committed on Laquinius with John Tolkien converting the penalty kick to give the Red Bulls the 1-0 victory. Do we even have tweets for this game? I don't think I saw many.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I got a few. Yeah. I got a good one, too. I'll start with the one I loved, which is Adam from Earth. And it says, this is only way this regular season could have ended, and it's the picture of Doctor Strange from Infinity War.
You know, that does kind of fit.
I've run a million simulations. That's the only way it was going to work, which I loved. At Tonino M said, I really hope our overlords don't say, great, we made the playoffs again. We're good. We don't need to spend any money in the offseason. Let's be honest, it's practically the same team from last season. Correct. Scott Howie said, it seemed hopeless for long stretches of the season. Credit to the coaches and the team for never giving up. I mean, they did pull 3 straight wins out of their ass, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Our friend Eddie, Pierre Delecto, said, I'm just really confused, and I yelled at work as they scored while taking a customer, and now I've been stared at aggressively by my managers. Any write-up will be worth it, though, which I love. And then finally, our good friends at Bots FC said, wow. To which I did reply, what would Kenny Florian say? And they said, that's not so Metro.
Do we need to remind people what Bots FC is?
Guys, if you haven't, just go back and listen to an interview with the guys from Bots FC.
That was like last year, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, they are the drivers of Shatter and Emulsifier. We got to get them back on the show, honestly.
We do. We got to find out how much a sponsorship costs for them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it'll probably be destroyed within seconds, but I'd rather. But come on.
Just go flying off one of those little triangles on Shatter.
But come on. The Red Bull Rant logo on actual cable TV. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be awesome.
I look for the Bots FC. One of the tweets I had, but I don't think it's there. Anyway. So let's get into it with our likes and dislikes. Truman, what did you dislike about this match?
Pure pain for 90-plus minutes. Pure pain of what are you guys going to do to actually try to win this game? And you saw, aside from a couple flashes, nothing. It was just that doom of, oh, my God, this is it. We're not even going to score a goal. That was the worst part. It's like we can't even get a goal here. Nothing. Just being miserable for 90 plus. That's probably the thing I dislike the most.
Yeah. Just to be a little different, I'm going to say the referees, which he wasn't terrible, but I do feel like Nashville was getting a little more leniency in terms of whether something was called a foul or a yellow card. Like I remember Reyes getting completely cleaned out by a guy who jumped and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And all you really wish for is that, they're consistent. That's all you really care about.
Right. Call poorly for both teams.
Yeah. Because if it's called poorly for both teams, then everybody complains and everybody loses.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Likes. I'm going to go Carlos Cornell because if he doesn't make that literal fingertip stop in the first half, then we're not in this conversation about playoffs. And we're not recording tonight. We're recording Thursday.
Yep.
Which we'll probably record Thursday either way, but we had to talk about the game because of playoffs. So Cornell was one of the reasons we are literally in the playoffs right now.
Yep. My if we want to talk about the referees and stuff, that I tweeted this, but finally, Luquinhas dived in the box and it paid off. It took the entire season.
Sorry, hold on a second. I screwed something up on my end.
Are you calling from a sewer?
I apparently hit the cave setting for the background.
I love it. I wish you just keep the cave setting. That was fantastic. I love it. Yes. That's fantastic.
Hold on. This is okay. We've now transitioned into the Red Bull Rant ASMR portion of the show. Sorry, that was a complete accident.
That's great. How many times this season have we seen Luquinhas dive in the box, fall in the box? I know he's gotten at least one yellow card for a dive in the box. But if you were going to get one that went your way, this was the perfect time to do it.
And this one,
Absolutely,
I don't think this one was actually a dive either.
It was not. It was a foul. It was a foul in the box, for sure. But it just had to be him. And Tolkien taking it, I was a little bit surprised. That's not the first person I think of taking a PK. But then again, you think about it has to be him, right? It has to be him. It has to be the hero. New Jersey zone, Red Bull zone, soon to be transferred to another team for sure. John Tolkien.
Well, and the problem was our main penalty kick takers were out. So while the Luquinhas wasn't the one to step up is kind of surprising, but
right. It's like of all the guys, you're like, this is not the guy you would have kind of expected to be there.
I mean, of all the guys you would have thought to get a free kick goal this year, was it him?
It's true. That's also true.
So,
I mean, right? I guess they just go, he's Captain Clutch.
3 goals, and they're all in the right moments.
Yeah, legit.
Well, I mean, one of them was against DC, which to a degree helped knock DC out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
One was obviously this one. I can't remember what his third goal was, but had been some sort of win because we didn't have any blowouts.
Yeah.
All right. Any afterthoughts?
Eddie, you got to be louder than I was, even though you were at work. I was at home, and I did not want to go crazy because I probably would have scared the shit out of my wife. So, I'll honestly, when the foul was called, I just kept saying to myself, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe it. And when they scored, I actually didn't scream and cheer. I laughed because I was so shocked that it actually happened that I was just laughing at the television because I just couldn't believe it.
You were just waiting for the VAR call to come in to overturn it, weren't you?
Absolutely right. So, right, it's going to get overturned, or something bad's going to happen in the final 30 seconds of the game, like that they'll get a foul called. Something. It was so shocking. It's so not the way this team does. I mean, I'm not expecting much in the playoffs, but it is a massive accomplishment now. 14 straight seasons in the playoffs. They have now topped the Seattle Sounders, so they now have a longer record than Seattle did because they were tied for 13 straight. It's
the
wild.
Longest active in pro sports.
Yeah, and they've earned themselves a home game, so that's even better. So not only do they get in, they at least get one home game to be in. So I think that's a huge plus too. So
Yeah.
they get the fans at least one more game.
And if they win, they get another one.
Yep. Yep.
Towards the end of the game, after Hurtado, where he just has Laquinius out on the wing, could pass it to the corner, kill some time, and he takes a shot. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go.
Oh, buddy, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, come on. Like I know you're trying to end the game, but clearly you have to know it's just much easier going to the corner and killing the clock than it is to take that shot.
100%. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking there. That was.
He wanted to be a hero. That's what it was.
Yep. Yep. Also, it's amazing that he's actually our official number 9 on this team.
And he's on loan from Watford and is going to be gone after the playoffs. So.
Yeah. So that is our number 9.
By the way, great loan deal for a guy who's only appeared at 5 times and not started once.
Yep.
Neither of us were right, though. Nobody got any own goals.
No, I know. I didn't. Yeah, Dax McCarty didn't even play, unfortunately.
Well, you saw what I tweeted out, that we were substituting Sean Davis for Dax since he was out.
Right. That's true.
All right. Is that it? Should we move on to the playoff game?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, so first, predictions. We already know Truman won, but now the final prediction standings. Truman had 27 points. I had 21.
Wow.
Where if my double or nothing paid off, I might have had a chance at the belt, but
yeah.
Oh well. All right, Red Bulls will play at least one playoff game. They will be hosting the Eastern Conference wildcard game on Wednesday, October 25th at 7:30 p.m. They will be taking on Charlotte FC, who made it by winning their game, and Montreal just shitting the bed.
We'll get to them. Well, hold on. You save yourself.
Okay.
We'll get to those guys.
Okay. But so the way it shook out was because Montreal lost. Red Bulls and Charlotte both won. Both teams leapfrogged Montreal. Montreal's out. We are 8. Charlotte's 9th. So that's how we are hosting a playoff game. Charlotte comes into the game with a record of 10, 13, and 11, minus 7 goal difference, 43 points, finishing number 9 in the Eastern Conference. This year, we've only played Charlotte twice, both of them being draws. First one at Charlotte was a 1-1 draw. If you remember, that was the game where there should have been at least one red card for giving a Red Bull player a concussion, but never happened. That was followed up at Red Bull Arena with a 2-2 draw. So even with both teams, I believe if you take last year into account, though, we have not lost to Charlotte yet. Because it was their first year and we beat them. And I remember the Open Cup. I don't think we lost to them in regular season, but I don't remember off the top of my head. So for those who are new to the show, we do not do official predictions for playoff games or knockout games, pretty much.
Right, there's too much on the line.
Yeah. So just general thoughts, Truman. What do you think is going to happen on Wednesday?
I mean, I think the way the team's playing right now, I think it's a very good chance for them to win this game. I think this is the one game they've. Correct me if I'm wrong. They've lost the first round of the past. Is it just 2 years or 3 years? Right? They get knocked out early.
I don't think they've won a first round playoff match since their Eastern Conference Finals collapse. So We're talking 2019 and forward.
All right. So the good news is it's a one game. It's at home. It really sucks that, of course, it's a Wednesday night, which is always fan preventative. But I do hope a lot of people come out for this. This is your best chance to win a game and at least salvage something out of this season. And maybe Red Bull will spend money next season. Of course, we don't have much hope for that, but they make all these crazy promises. But this is a game you can win. I think it's totally winnable. Defense is still playing really well, as we've seen how many games in a row now. They keep this team in it. All you have to do is just don't commit silly fouls. That's all the defense has to do. Duncan, Reyes, just be smart with the ball, and just don't take silly fouls. That's it. And then you can find a way to score a goal.
So to that point, over the last 4 games, which is 3 wins and a loss, and I'm stopping there because the 5th game back is the DC game, and that was just insane.
Mm-hmm.
So over the last 4, the Red Bulls have scored 6 and given up 2. Now, one of those was a 1-0 loss, but going to Cincinnati, winning 2-1, taking care of business at home against Toronto 3-0, winning in Nashville 1-0, even though it's the way it was. Those are all good results. It's good momentum going into a playoff game. And I think the Red Bulls got a little bit lucky with Montreal, because I don't think if Montreal made the playoffs, we would be playing in Montreal. I don't think we win that game. Playing at home to Charlotte, I think we have at least at minimum 50% chance of winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in terms of what we could have seen from a wildcard game, this was the best case scenario. Because the other teams the only other team we could have possibly faced in this game or this round would have been Chicago. And I feel like we do not match up well against Chicago.
Yeah, we don't.
So I think we got like the best possible outcome. So I'm hoping, like you said, that the crowd shows up. It kind of sucks because you and I don't live anywhere close to Red Bull Arena. So going there on a Wednesday is
forget about it.
Yeah, it's very, very unlikely. Like either of us have to take at least like a day or 2 off of work and probably pay for a hotel, and it's not worth it.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, but hey, I got a TV. I got a big TV. I can watch it. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but if you have the ability to go, I suggest you go. Make that building as loud as possible.
Eddie, you better be there. There's no way you're messing it, dude.
If you have to get written up for work, just tell them we gave you the pass.
That's right. That's right. They can call us and complain.
Yeah. So all I'm hoping is for a really good game, that we come out of there with a victory, go take on FC Cincinnati, because in the best of 3, who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at. So I think we kind of have to separate topic is, making the playoffs is not a measure of success for the Red Bulls right now, right? Because this is now year 14 in a row. This is bare minimum expectations at this point is that you make the playoffs. So the question is, when does this season become successful? Is it after winning this wildcard game? If we win the wildcard game, do we have to win another game? Do we have to win a series? Where does this series? When does I was thinking about this? When is it the mark that this season is then successful?
Well, it wasn't a successful season, right?
No, but that's what I'm saying, right?
Right.
So right now we are barely meeting expectations because playoffs are the baseline of where we expect to be.
Correct. If you're asking me, after all is said and done with how god awful this season was, what could we say would make it a successful season? I would say obviously winning this game, and I would say winning a home game against Cincinnati.
So minimum, you're saying this game plus one of the 3 against Cincy.
Right, because there's no expectations against the Shield winners, except for when we're the Shield winners and then we lose. But obviously there wouldn't be expectations to win that series. But I think there should be expectations to win this wild card game, and with the way they play defense, at least getting another home win.
In a best of 3 series, you never know what will happen. So
yeah, especially
because in the best of 3, if it ends in a tie, you get penalty kicks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think I'm there with you. I think you have to minimum win 2 games in this postseason for it to be considered a success, right? If we were, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 seed, then I would say maybe you have to win the best of 3. But given what this team went through with replacing its head coach in May, losing its best player supposedly best player for over a month because of racist comments, then losing him again to injury later in the year.
I mean, Lewis Morgan, flat out.
That's right. He played maybe 2 games this year.
He played 30 seconds and got hurt again. He came on and missed the penalty kick.
I can't imagine how fucking unlucky we are that was the case. Where Lewis Morgan is back. He's ready to go. He plays, I think, I forget which game it was. I think it was the Orlando game where he came off for like 30 minutes and then just when it was clearly meaningless, just decided to go all out and hurt himself. Came back for that Philly game for, like you said, 30 seconds in the penalty kick, and then he's hurt again. And it's just like, Jesus.
Yeah. And in the summary of all the ridiculous things that happened that we just talked about, the fact that we had Tom Barlow up top for 85% of these games, whatever the number is,
I was going to say 90.
Just to host a home playoff game is a fucking miracle at this point.
And he scored a goal in what was the game-winning goal in the Toronto match.
Yep.
I know it wasn't the only goal, but it was the first one of the game, and it was like.
And I will jokingly say he retired Michael Bradley, even though he didn't make the turnover, but still he scored that goal.
He did. That's clearly what happened.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell me otherwise. All right. Any other thoughts on the playoffs or playoffs in general, or the Red Bulls, and before we move on?
The great news. Now, again, finishing 8th is not a great thing, but if it makes everyone feel better, DC is out, and Chicago's out, and NYCFC is out, and Toronto's out. So a ton of teams that we don't like are not in the playoffs at all. So I think that's really one of the silver linings of this less than mediocre season.
I still love the fact that DC was eliminated before the last day of the year, and they immediately fired Wayne Rooney, and now he's coaching in the championship.
He's already coaching.
He's already there.
He's already moved on.
Yeah. What was supposed to be his like triumphant return to his last professional team, and it's just like, no, year and a half and you're done.
Yeah.
All right. So because this is gonna be a relatively quick episode, so we're not gonna go through some of our normal stuff. We're not doing Gotham FC because they're literally playing their playoff match right now. We're not doing F1 update because I haven't finished watching. We're not doing Underground. So that means the only extra segment we have this week is Truman's terrible team of the week.
That's terrible.
Oh, Montreal. How could it not be them? I know they're playing on the road, and I know they're playing a very good team in Columbus, but you had a lead, man. You had a lead, and you just couldn't hang on to it. You just couldn't hang on to a point, and you got yourselves knocked right out of the playoffs. So that is just what a kick in the pants. So as good as we felt, they probably felt 3 times worse.
Yep. Only imagine.
I mean, we know what it's like to get completely destroyed in an important game. So.
Yeah, we've been through plenty of nut punches in life, as it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Plenty.
All right. So any other thoughts before we close this one out?
Great weekend. The Devils won. Rutgers is bowl eligible. The Giants won today. Red Bulls won last night. And the Jets can't lose because they are off.
Imagine that.
So I am enjoying the sports weekend.
Well, I got the Everton notch to stop me.
Liverpool won. Yeah. Fantastic.
And shot in the foot by your own players. It's wonderful. I wonder where I've heard that story before.
Yeah, weird.
All right. Let's wrap this one up. You can visit us at patreon.com/Red Bull Rant. $1 a month gets you exclusive content, whatever we decide to do. Red Bull Rant at gmail.com if you want to email us. If you want to call us, 973-348-5329. Hey, Eddie, it's been a while. If you need to scream, the voicemail's here for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Facebook.com/Red Bull Rant. On Twitter at Red Bull Rant for the show, at Dr. Students for myself, at the Truman for Truman. Subscribe to us for your iTunes, YouTube Music, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast. Last words before we get out of here.
I don't know how they're going to do it. I really don't. But I would really love to do this show on Thursday and be happy. I would love to do that. That would be just give us one more feeling of joy and win.
Yep. Let's keep this train going at least for a little bit longer. All right. So for Truman and myself, this has been episode 445 of the Red Bull Rant. Thank you guys for tuning in, and as always, go Red Bulls.
See ya.